Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a simple question that may challenge everything you've been taught about success. What if success is not something you pursue, but something that responds to you? Most people spend their entire lives chasing success. They chase money, they chase recognition, they chase opportunities, titles, and applause. They run faster, work longer hours, change jobs, move cities, yet somehow success always feels just one step ahead of them. And after years of effort, many end up exhausted, frustrated, and wondering, why isn't this working? Here's the truth most people never hear. Success is not attracted by what you want, it is attracted by who you become. If success were merely about chasing, the busiest people would be the most successful, but they're not. If it were about luck, then effort wouldn't matter, but it does. And if it were about circumstances, then people who start with nothing would never rise, but they do every single day. Tonight, I want to invite you into a different way of thinking. A way of thinking that doesn't just change your income, but changes you. Because when you change, everything around you begins to change automatically. This speech is not about shortcuts. It's not about overnight success. And it's definitely not about motivation that fades tomorrow morning. This is about understanding the invisible law of attraction between who you are and what you receive. If you stay with me until the end, you will understand why some people seem to attract opportunities effortlessly, why others struggle endlessly, and most importantly, how you can begin attracting success without chasing it for the rest of your life. Stay with me because what you're about to hear may change the way you work, think, and live forever. Success is one of the most misunderstood words in the world. Most people believe success is something you must chase, run after, pursue endlessly, and hunt down before someone else gets it first. They wake up every day feeling like success is running away from them, like a finish line that keeps moving farther the closer they get. And the harder they chase, the more frustrated they become. But here is the truth that changes everything. Success is not something you chase, it is something you attract. Think about this for a moment. In nature, attraction works by value, not force. Flowers don't chase bees. Flowers simply become beautiful, fragrant, and valuable to the ecosystem, and bees come to them naturally. In the same way, success responds to the value you bring into the world, not the pressure you apply. Most people say, I need more money, but the marketplace responds, what value do you offer in return? You don't get paid for your needs. You get paid for your skills, your discipline, your problem-solving ability, and your reliability. When you increase these qualities, success starts moving toward you automatically. Here's where many people make their biggest mistake. They focus on outcomes instead of growth. They focus on the paycheck instead of the person. They focus on the reward instead of the preparation. And then they wonder why success feels temporary when it finally arrives, or why it never arrives at all. Success is attracted when you become someone worth rewarding. Let me say that again. Success doesn't follow desire, it follows development. You can want success with all your heart, but wanting alone won't do it. Desire without growth creates frustration, but desire combined with daily improvement creates momentum. And momentum attracts opportunities, people, and results you could never force into existence. Think about the people who seem to attract success wherever they go. They don't chase opportunities, opportunities chase them. Why? Because they've developed qualities that make them valuable: discipline, integrity, competence, consistency. They've worked on becoming better, not just getting more. The world doesn't respond to complaints, it responds to competence. It doesn't reward excuses, it rewards excellence. When you increase your level of skill, your income has room to grow. When you increase your emotional control, your relationships improve. When you increase your discipline, your future becomes predictable in a good way. And here's the best part: you don't need to change your location to attract success. You don't need luck, connections, or perfect timing. What you need is personal growth. When you grow, your environment adjusts automatically. When you improve, your results eventually follow. Success is like a mirror, it reflects who you are. If you see lack, confusion, or struggle in the mirror, don't argue with the reflection. Change the person standing in front of it. Instead of asking, why isn't success coming to me? Ask, what am I becoming each day? Are you becoming more skilled or more comfortable? More disciplined or more distracted? More valuable or more average? The moment you shift your focus from chasing success to attracting it through personal development, everything changes. Pressure turns into purpose. Frustration turns into clarity. And effort starts producing visible results. Remember this: when you work harder on yourself than anything else, success has no choice but to find you. You don't chase success, you become the kind of person success is drawn to. When most people think about success, they think about what they can get: the promotion, the money, the recognition, the title, the car, or the house. And there's nothing wrong with wanting those things. They are the natural outcomes of achievement. But here's the problem: focusing only on what you get often leads to disappointment. Why? Because what you get is temporary, external, and beyond your full control. Who you become, on the other hand, is permanent, internal, and entirely within your control. Consider this: You can gain a lot of money, yet if you haven't developed the habits, the mindset, and the character to manage it, that wealth will vanish faster than it arrived. You can achieve a title or a position, yet if you haven't grown the skills, the patience, and the wisdom to handle it, it becomes more of a burden than a blessing. You can receive recognition, yet if you haven't strengthened your self-worth, that praise will never satisfy the emptiness inside. This is why who you become is far more important than what you get. Life rewards the person who is ready, capable, and worthy. The universe, or if you like, the laws of success, will only give you what you are prepared to handle. Think of it like this. A tree can bear fruit only if it has ground strong roots. No matter how much sunlight it receives or how much water is poured on it, if the roots are weak, the fruit will be small or fail to grow at all. Your personal growth is the root, and the fruit, the rewards you desire, will naturally follow. This is why investment in yourself always pays the highest dividends. Investing in your skills, your mindset, your habits, and your character is never wasted. Every hour spent improving your communication, mastering your craft, or strengthening your discipline compounds over time. Every lesson learned, every mistake corrected, every discomfort faced makes you stronger, wiser, and more capable. And when you become that person, opportunities will naturally come your way, doors will open, and success will gravitate toward you without you having to chase it. Here's a secret many people don't realize: what you get never truly matters unless you are ready to receive it. A person who becomes wealthy without personal growth often loses it. A person who gains fame without maturity struggles under its pressure. A person who achieves success without discipline can never sustain it. Success is not just a prize, it's a reflection of the person who holds it. So, the question you need to ask yourself every day is not, what can I get today? But who am I becoming today? Are you becoming more patient? Are you becoming more responsible? Are you becoming more knowledgeable, more disciplined, more resilient? Or are you simply chasing short-term rewards that give instant gratification but no lasting value? The answer to this question determines not just your success, but your fulfillment, because true success is measured not by what you have, but by who you are. A life focused on becoming the best version of yourself will always attract the right opportunities, the right people, and the right rewards at the right time. And when those rewards arrive, you will have the wisdom, the strength, and the integrity to use them wisely. Remember, the world will give you what you are ready to handle, not just what you want. That's why your greatest work is not outside of you, it's within you. Focus on becoming a person of value, a person of character, a person who is disciplined and wise. As you grow, the rewards will follow naturally, and they won't just be temporary, they will be lasting. In the end, it's simple: what you get is limited, but who you become is unlimited. Invest in yourself, grow your roots, and watch your life bear the fruit you truly deserve. If there is one truth about success that is often overlooked, it is this: all achievement begins with personal growth. Without growth, no amount of effort, luck, or ambition can lead to lasting success. Growth is the soil from which results sprout, the engine that powers progress, and the foundation upon which every accomplishment rests. Think for a moment about the people you admire most, those who seem to rise above challenges, achieve their dreams, and inspire others along the way. What sets them apart is not just talent, intelligence, or connections. It is their commitment to constantly grow, improve, and evolve. They have invested in themselves, sharpened their minds, developed their skills, and strengthened their character. In other words, they have focused on becoming better before expecting better results. Personal growth is not optional, it is mandatory for success. Life rewards those who work on themselves. It doesn't reward excuses, complaints, or short-term tricks. Every step you take to expand your knowledge, enhance your skills, or refine your character brings you closer to the outcomes you desire. Conversely, stagnation is one of the greatest enemies of achievement. If you remain the same person you were yesterday, your results are likely to remain the same as well, no matter how much effort you expend. Consider this: when you improve your mindset, your perspective on challenges changes. Problems that once felt impossible now become manageable. Setbacks that once discouraged you now become opportunities to learn and grow. Strengthening your emotional resilience allows you to navigate life's storms without losing direction. Developing new skills opens doors that were previously closed. Every improvement in yourself compounds, creating momentum that cannot be forced or faked. It must be earned from within. The beauty of personal growth is that it affects every area of your life simultaneously. When you grow mentally, your decision-making improves. When you grow emotionally, your relationships flourish. When you grow professionally, your career prospers. Growth doesn't just produce results in one area, it creates a ripple effect that transforms your entire life. This is why the most successful people prioritize self-development over everything else. They understand that the person they become is far more important than the goals they pursue. Now, some people might think personal growth is slow or boring. They believe results should be instant, that success should come overnight. But real growth is neither fast nor flashy. It is steady, consistent, and often invisible at first. The key is persistence. Small improvements made daily accumulate into massive transformation over time. Reading a book, practicing a skill, reflecting on your experiences, and learning from mistakes might seem insignificant in isolation, but over months and years, these small actions produce monumental results. Another aspect of growth is embracing discomfort. True development happens outside your comfort zone. Challenges, failures, and obstacles are not setbacks. They are the raw materials for building a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. Every time you stretch beyond what feels easy or familiar, you are laying another brick in the foundation of your future success. In summary, personal growth is not just a part of the journey to achievement. It is the journey. Your results, your opportunities, and your life circumstances will respond to the quality of the person you are becoming. The more you invest in yourself, the more you attract success naturally, effortlessly, and sustainably. Growth is the hidden magnet that draws results toward you, because success cannot resist a person who is continuously improving. Remember this before you ask life for more. Give life a better you. Cultivate your mind, your skills, and your character. Strengthen yourself daily. Embrace learning, challenge, and self-improvement. Because the person you become today will determine the results you attract tomorrow, and personal growth is the foundation upon which all achievement is built. One of the most powerful truths about success is that it is rarely born in dramatic moments. It is rarely a result of sudden inspiration, luck, or chance encounters. Instead, success is the product of daily habits repeated consistently over time. The life you live tomorrow is created by the choices you make today, and the routines you follow today will determine the quality of your future. Most people underestimate the power of small actions. They think that success requires huge leaps, grand gestures, or sudden breakthroughs, but the reality is far simpler and far more effective. Small, consistent actions, what you do when no one is watching, compound over time into extraordinary results. A single choice might seem insignificant in isolation, but when repeated daily, it becomes a habit, and habits are the invisible architecture of your destiny. Think about it. A person who reads 15, 20 minutes each day may not notice a difference immediately. But over a year, that small habit could translate into reading 20 or more books, each filled with ideas, strategies, and knowledge that shape their thinking and decision-making. Similarly, saving a small portion of your income each day may feel insignificant, but over time, it builds wealth. Exercising for 20 minutes daily may seem minimal, but it leads to better health, energy, and longevity. The principle is simple. Small disciplines repeated consistently yield massive results. Daily habits are not limited to productive actions alone. They also include what you allow yourself to think and feel. Your thoughts, reactions, and attitudes, when repeated over time, shape your mindset and emotional state. If you habitually complain, procrastinate, or focus on problems, you attract frustration and stagnation. If you consistently practice gratitude, discipline, and focus, you attract growth, opportunity, and success. Your habits shape not only your actions, but also the person you are becoming, and that person ultimately attracts the results you desire. Another critical point is that habits create predictability. Life is unpredictable, yes, but your habits provide stability and structure. When challenges arise, your habits act as a foundation, allowing you to respond effectively rather than react impulsively. Habits create momentum, and momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. Once momentum is established, success begins to feel natural because your daily actions are aligned with your goals. It's also important to realize that your habits define your character. Success doesn't come to those who act inconsistently or live without discipline. Success flows to those who do the things that most people avoid, the small, often uncomfortable actions that build strength, competence, and reliability. Your character is your most valuable asset, and it is built one habit at a time. What you do repeatedly is who you become. Now, this does not mean habits are easy. Forming positive habits requires patience, effort, and persistence. Old habits will resist change, temptations will appear, motivation will waver. But this is exactly why discipline is essential. When you persist in practicing good habits, even when you don't feel like it, you create a foundation that no obstacle can shake. Over time, your habits will define your life more than your talent, luck, or circumstances ever could. In conclusion, if you want to shape your future, start by examining your daily habits. Ask yourself, what am I doing every day that is moving me closer to who I want to become? Small, consistent actions are not glamorous, but they are the most reliable way to attract success. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not necessarily more talented, they are more consistent. They understand that their future is being written one habit at a time, and they take responsibility for it. Remember this, your destiny is the sum of your daily choices. Shape your habits carefully because they will shape you. And as you shape yourself, success will naturally follow, drawn to the person you are becoming. If there is one thing that separates those who dream from those who achieve, it is discipline. Talent, intelligence, and even motivation are valuable, but they are fleeting if not supported by discipline. Discipline is the bridge between potential and reality. It is the daily commitment to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, even when obstacles arise, and even when the reward seems distant. Without discipline, potential remains just that, potential. With discipline, dreams become tangible results. Let's be honest, motivation comes and one day you feel inspired, confident, and ready to conquer the world. The next day, fatigue, fear, or distraction sets in and the fire fades. Motivation is emotional. It depends on how you feel at the moment. Discipline, on the other hand, is a decision. It is a choice you make regardless of your feelings. And it is this choice that determines whether your potential transforms into lasting success. Discipline is the act of choosing long-term benefit over short-term comfort. It is the willingness to do what is necessary today for the rewards you seek tomorrow. It is the commitment to study when you'd rather relax, to work when you'd rather procrastinate, and to persevere when every fiber of your being cries for ease. Discipline is not glamorous, and it is rarely celebrated in the moment, but its effects are profound and permanent. Consider the people you admire, those who seem to achieve more, overcome challenges more effectively, and attract opportunities more easily. Look closely and you will see discipline in action. They arrive on time, they follow through on commitments, they push themselves to improve daily, and they endure setbacks without quitting. Discipline creates trust in their character, competence in their skills, and reliability in their presence. Success naturally flows to such people because the world recognizes and rewards consistency and reliability. Discipline also magnifies the value of talent. Without discipline, a brilliant mind unused becomes stagnant. A skilled hand without practice grows weak. Talent alone cannot create consistent results. Discipline turns raw potential into performance. It turns dreams into reality. It transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. Every great accomplishment in history has been built on the foundation of discipline, often behind the scenes, long before recognition or reward appears. Moreover, discipline shapes your mindset, it strengthens willpower, builds confidence, and creates resilience. When you train yourself to follow through consistently, you develop an inner belief that you can handle challenges, overcome obstacles, and achieve your goals. Discipline becomes a habit, and habits determine your destiny. The disciplined mind doesn't panic in crisis, doesn't waver in doubt, and doesn't surrender to fear. It stays focused, persistent, and unstoppable. It's important to remember that discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. Freedom from the chaos of procrastination, from the uncertainty of inconsistent effort, and from the frustration of wasted potential. Discipline gives you control over your life because it gives you control over your actions. It allows you to direct your energy, time, and talent toward results that matter. Without discipline, even the greatest opportunities are wasted. With discipline, even small opportunities become powerful stepping stones toward achievement. Finally, discipline is a choice that you make every day, in every moment. It is a commitment to yourself that you will not let temporary discomfort, distraction, or desire for instant gratification dictate your life. By choosing discipline, you honor your potential. You bridge the gap between who you are today and who you can become tomorrow. And when you consistently walk that bridge, the life you dream of begins to unfold before you. Remember, discipline is the silent architect of success. Motivation may light the spark, but discipline keeps the fire burning. It is the bridge between your potential and the reality of your achievements. Work on building it, strengthening it, and practicing it every single day. Because the disciplined person will always attract the results that match their efforts, and the world will respond to the person who can deliver consistently. One of the most powerful secrets to attracting success is this simple truth: you must work harder on yourself than on your circumstances. Many people spend their lives trying to change the world around them, their boss, their colleagues, their environment, or their luck. They chase better conditions, complain about unfairness, or wait for opportunity to knock. And while effort is important, focusing primarily on external circumstances is like trying to build a house on sand. It may look impressive for a while, but it is unstable and unsustainable. True stability and true success comes from building yourself, not rearranging the world around you. Think about it this way: the world doesn't adjust to your wishes. Life doesn't slow down because you feel unprepared. Circumstances are neutral. They respond to strength, wisdom, and resilience. When you focus on improving your skills, your mindset, and your character, circumstances naturally begin to adjust to your level of capability. In other words, growth on the inside always precedes change on the outside. People often say, "If only I had better opportunities, I could succeed." But the truth is, the best opportunities are drawn to those who are prepared. The richer, more capable, and more disciplined you become, the more opportunities the world provides. Working on your circumstances alone without improving yourself is like expecting fruit to grow on a tree without tending to its roots. You may get lucky sometimes, but lasting success will always elude you. When you commit to working on yourself, you invest in what is permanent: your skills, your mindset, your habits, and your character. Circumstances will change, fade, or fail, but your growth remains. Every skill you develop, every habit you strengthen, every lesson you learn adds to your internal foundation, creating a version of yourself that can thrive under any condition. The stronger you become, the less the world can intimidate you. The wiser you grow, the more options you see. The more disciplined you are, the more control you gain over your own life. Working harder on yourself also develops resilience. Life will always have challenges. Unexpected setbacks will appear, obstacles will block your path, and disappointment will knock at your door. But if you have invested in yourself, these obstacles no longer define you. They become opportunities to grow, to learn, and to strengthen your resolve. The circumstances you once feared or resented will no longer control your destiny. They will become part of your training ground. Another critical aspect of this principle is that it shifts your focus from blame to responsibility. When you focus on circumstances, it is easy to complain, excuse yourself, or feel like a victim. When you focus on yourself, you take responsibility. You realize that the person you are becoming is more important than the situation you are in. You cannot always control the world, but you can control yourself. And the power to shape your life lies within that control. Finally, working harder on yourself creates a life of freedom and fulfillment. You will no longer be a prisoner of conditions, opinions, or luck. Instead, you will attract success naturally, effortlessly, and sustainably because the world responds to strength, value, and competence. By improving yourself first, you prepare to receive everything you desire, not as a fleeting stroke of luck, but as a natural outcome of who you have become. Remember this: don't ask life to give you better circumstances. Become a better person. Work harder on yourself than on anything else. Build your skills, your mindset, your discipline, and your character. The circumstances will follow. Success is attracted to the person who has prepared themselves to receive it. The stronger, wiser, and more capable you become, the more life conspires to bring the rewards you deserve. In the end, your greatest investment is not in money, opportunity, or connections. It is in you. Strengthen yourself, and success will inevitably find you.